This is the Padua Podcast Network.
A turtle apparently was discovered by Charles Darwin, captured by him, rescued, however you want to put it, in 1835, when the turtle was 5 years old. Running a Fever, episode 161, Living to 100, Maria Capovilla. Welcome to Running a Fever. My name's Michael Davis. I love my life so much, I want to make it last as long as possible. That's what we're all about. And if you want to live a long, happy, healthy life right up to the very end, then go ahead and subscribe to the show. Subscribe on YouTube. And stay tuned. So today, first of all, it's a beautiful day, of course. I see flowers and lots of tall grass and green leaves on the trees. We're cruising, taking a little after work walk here in the usual place. I've done quite a bit of exercise already today. It was leg day at the gym this morning, and I've started doing something a little bit different. I walk, so now I've got, I can't see how many total steps I have today, but it's probably well over 10,000 at this point. Got 6,000 before I left work, I think. And some of those came in the gym because now walking is a really great way to warm up. You should warm up and stretch before you exercise. Wow, it's really happy to be in the shade right now. It's kind of warm today. But the new gym, as you know, is bigger and better. And matter of fact, since I joined, they have gotten pretty much all new equipment, at least in the free weights area and in a lot of the other areas of the gym as well. And their old equipment was fine. It just kind of looked kind of old. But I like the new stuff. And they also, it's big enough. They have a pool, basketball gym, tennis courts, all that stuff. But they have an indoor track it's right in the area, near the area where I usually do my weight training. And so that's what I've been doing. I live in the city, folks. I like getting out here in the park and walking around, but I'm going to the gym. I just want to warm up for a few minutes. So I do it inside, but better than being on a treadmill is being on a track. At least I can be moving in space. So I walk around, and it's like a 3-lane track. They have 1 lane for walkers and 1 lane for joggers and 1 lane for really fast runners. Basically, keep to the inside of the track the slower you are. And so I do a couple of laps around there, and that's good. Gets me a little warmed up. I need to probably work on my stretching routine to help prevent injury. Still reading the book Real Age. It's going to take me about 20 years to complete, but it's a 20-year-old book, so what's the rush? But they went into a section, and it wasn't the dynamic stretching that I have, because the theory on that has kind of changed. So this was the old sort of static stretching. But stretching, I think everyone still agrees, is a good idea. So the idea is to warm up a little bit before you stretch, so you're stretching warm muscles. But you're not doing intense exercise before you stretch. So I didn't stretch before I went on this walk, because this is kind of a low impact activity. And I could be walking faster, but I'm not. So it's a pretty leisurely pace, or moderate pace, I should say, not exactly leisurely. I'm kind of, especially right now, I'm going up a hill. So I'm getting a lot more activity. And today at work, it didn't seem like much, but somebody's got to make the coffee early in the morning, and we have this system where we can make several pots of coffee at once. And while one is brewing, well, it's not at once, but in one container. While one pot is brewing, I'm maybe taking a walk around the building, and by the time I get back to the break room, it's time to make another pot. So that probably added to my total for today, because I got there early enough that no one had made any coffee. And I still have coffee, but I have a pre-workout drink that has a lot of caffeine, so I just have decaf at work. And unfortunately, hydration department just didn't do it right today. I don't think I drank any water all day, really. Before I came out here, I had a bottle of water, and I'll have a bottle when we go back, so, but still not really enough. Spaced out, no excuse. Trail's getting a little busy. We're getting close to the parking lot, the old stomping grounds, the aquatic center. But this is the second in our series of episodes, Living to be 100. And today we're talking about Maria Capovilla. Maria Esther Heredia Lecaro de Capovilla lived from September 14, 1889 to August 27, 2006. Total of 116 years, 347 days. Most of the top 10 are right around 117 years. She is number 10 on the list of all-time longest lived people as of this date. Maria was from Ecuador, which is not one of the 37 countries where running a fever is heard, sadly. And she was born in Guayaquil, which is the second largest city in Ecuador. Coincidentally, there's a turtle, one of those, because in Ecuador is officially the country where the Galapagos Islands are. A turtle apparently was discovered by Charles Darwin, captured by him, rescued, however you want to put it, in 1835, when the turtle was 5 years old. Apparently born in 1830, this turtle lived to be at least 175. One of the articles I was reading was at that point. So, while Maria is not the longest lived Ecuadorian, she is the longest lived Ecuadorian human, no doubt, and the longest lived person from South America. By the way, the turtle, name escapes me, but the turtle now resides in a zoo in Queensland, Australia. Wow, so this parking lot, the aquatic center, is closed apparently due to school's in session right now. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Maybe I have, I don't know. It's probably been in a podcast if I had. Maria is also the last surviving person to have been born in the 1880s. She was married for 31 years, but her husband sadly only lived to be 85. So she lived the last 57 years of her life as a widow, and to my knowledge, never remarried. All right, so let's get down to the nitty-gritty here of what we're concerned about. Yeah, so what are we concerned about here? What about quality of life? Well, till the end of her life, she was able to walk. She wasn't in a wheelchair, but she had to be assisted. She also read the paper, And toward the end, she could only read the headlines, but she didn't wear glasses apparently. Her memory and hearing also suffered. Daughter said that her memory wasn't bad, but she didn't have her complete memory. She was just kind of fuzzy sometimes. And I think that's pretty common. Really noisy. You know, sometimes the trail does not cooperate. We've got sirens, we've got cars, bicycles, bugs, the wind, acts of God and man interfering with the podcast. Sometimes God has a sense of humor, I think. He just wants me to stop talking and listen. Listen. So Maria didn't, even though she could walk and she could feed herself and she could read, she did not leave her house for the last 2 years. The last 20 years of her life, she lived with her daughter and son-in-law. Here's what her diet was like. Chicken and lentils for lunch. Coffee with warm milk at night. Apparently she wasn't worried about keeping her up at night. She'd have bread with cheese or jam, and she always had to have something sweet. Gelatin or ice cream or cake. One article said that she drank donkey milk when she was a child. She never smoked. She did not drink hard liquor, but she had a small cup of wine with lunch. She played the piano, which, some of these things are just kind of make a lot of sense. But she was religious. They've added some obstacles to the disc golf course here. Changing things up a little bit. So I'll get a picture of that. Played the piano. She prayed every day and took communion once a week. So a lot of these things, are not really surprising for someone who lived a long life. It seems like she had a pretty balanced life. It doesn't say much about her activity, but I think she must have been active because she was still able to ambulate and walk around up until the very end. Also, she had 5 children and a bunch of grandchildren and great-grandchildren and even a couple of great-great-grandchildren. And children, I think, tend to keep you active. That's my impression. I've been told that by parents who have them around a lot more than I do. 5 children, 9 grandchildren, and then some greats and great-greats. Maria Capovilla, number 10 on the list of all-time longest-lived people. Hope you enjoyed that. If you got the fever, keep it. If you don't have it, catch it. I'll talk to you next time on Running a Fever.